The inclusion of viewing as a language macro skill is due to the dominance of visual media. Majority of texts encountered and created are multimodal. This is according to Chris 2010. In this slide, you will see the example of multimedia text and live multimodal text. And further discussions will be given to us by Ms. Tamayo and Ms. Orquin.
Teachers are the forefront in attaining DepEd's goal to produce students equipment with 21st century skills including ICT. These skills are needed to be taught because 21st century students are exposed to multimedia according to Barrett 2016. We all know that time goes by, technology innovations rapidly changing into modernization. This is a sole reason why every 21st century teachers must embody the skills to be a tech savvy. Before, the instructional materials such as visual aid are traditional, like written on board or on a chart. In an actual classroom settings students these days are having a discussion or reporting in class by using laptop and projector, right? So students these days are technological oriented. So the teacher must keep up in order to closer the face between the student and the teacher and also to have an effective learning to happen. So how is it possible? So first, visual literacy should have strong media and visual literacies understand both print and non-print. So visual literacy skills equip learner to understand and analyze components involved in the production and use of visual materials. Print media creates interest among readers. The factor of interest is very important because reading skills can be improved only if the student takes interest. Second, appropriate and accurate pedagogies coupled with relevant materials that help students think of the image they see. So, innovative teaching matters. The educational landscape has undergone a transformation, transitioning for traditional classroom to virtual and hybrid learning environments. However, the prevalence of staring at a laptop screens introduces the risk of students becoming easily distracted or disengaged. For an instance, in 2022 when pandemic struck, schooling became more difficult for some the others, especially for those who are not capable of having an internet connection. So, with the relevant materials that help students to think of the image they see, for example, of handing a learning packet like a hard drive in every barangays, and for an internet, of course, we're putting our learning packet through Google Drive, and in order for them to see it, of course, they must have an internet. So we teacher must be innovative because innovative teaching matters in what situation we are in. We must be flexible for the students and for the effective learning to happen.
Good day, everyone. My name is November Ricky, and let's move forward to the next discussion. Here in this slide, we have the question. What do students need to understand regarding the topic developing learning skills? So learner, just like you, needs to understand that viewing process is as important as listening and reading process. In a common and traditional concept, we all know that reading process help us gain knowledge. We can comprehend what we read. Listening help us gather information, but viewing process has the same value with these two simply because what we see in our environment also give us information because these things have different functions, different meanings, and different symbols. Since we are in the 21st century, allow me to use the example gadgets, computers, right? They are seen in our environment. We do need to learn them through viewing skills because these are necessary skills that we need to have to survive the standard in the 21st century. Okay, so it is our responsibility as a teacher to educate you. So how will we do this? First, we need to make sure that you understand what we see. So how will teachers do it? First, teacher can make their student look an art quietly. For example, Raymart, could you please stand up and observe this art? Why do teachers need to make their student observe an art? To make meaning, right? That's it, to make meaning. To make meaning out of their conversation. So I allow Raymark to see an apple in the picture, right? I tell him to list down his observations. And then the second one is I will allow then Raymark to narrate his observations. What are the things that Raymark observed in the art, in an apple art? Yes, the color. The shape? Yes, that's it. And then, of course, it will sound opinionated if I will not ask him regarding the evidences. So, as he narrates his observations, I want him to also cite his inferences as evidence. So he can what? He can point out the picture in which he observed those things that he narrated. That's it. Then aside from that, I will ask more leading questions. Why is it important to ask more leading questions? To make the student understand that it is not just about observation, that this image has something to do with him, just like the apple. The apple is not just a basic image, it is a healthy food. So I need Raymart to what? Also narrate his realizations regarding the apple. Like, do you think the food in the art is healthy? Do you need to eat it every day? Is it important to eat apple than junk foods? That's it. Then, at the end of that, I want framework to summarize his learning. That's how you teach children. That's the common way to teach children. You make them observe first the image through their eyes. Very good. And then you allow them to narrate what they observe. And then you ask them why, where did they observe it, right? You make them point it so they know that what they're saying is not just opinionated and they are focused on the object. And then after that, you ask leading question to make them realize its worth. What does or what is its connection to them? And then you make them summarize the whole idea. It is important. Okay, so let's go back. As I said, viewing process is as important as listening and reading process, because what we see also teaches us knowledge, and also what we see in our environment is connected with us. And usually, these things that we observe in our environment are the things that we needed to survive. That is why, if reading develops our cognitive skills, viewing skills do not just develop cognitive but also are effective. How do we make worth of the things we see? How do we acknowledge them? How do we make sure that we learn them just like computers and able to survive in the 21st century? Right? So that's my part, and thank you for listening.